July 2002, eBay writes a check for $1.5 billion to acquire PayPal. The PayPal mafia, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Reid Hoffman, Max Levchin, walks away with hundreds of millions of dollars in cash. 15 years later, PayPal is worth over $300 billion as an independent company. So was this the greatest exit in Silicon Valley history, or was it the greatest giveaway? Let's crack this case wide open. Hello, I'm Todd Hagopian, the original Stagnation Assassin. Today, we're opening the vault on the PayPal eBay sale of 2002 to see if it was a strategic slaughter or a stagnation suicide. The answer depends entirely on whose side of the table you are sitting on, so get ready. The stagnation score here. Let's set the battlefield. 2002, the dot-com bubble has burst. The NASDAQ has cratered. Silicon Valley is a wasteland of ping pong tables and broken dreams. Startups can't raise money. IPOs are literally radioactive at this point. PayPal had just gone public in February 2002, one of the only successful IPOs in the entire post-crash era. But the company was burning cash. They were fighting fraud. They were battling regulators and engaged in vicious competitive war with eBay's own payment system, BillPoint. Stagnation score for PayPal's independent trajectory, 6 out of 10. Not because PayPal was stagnant itself, it was growing, but because the external environment was so toxic. The corporate cancer wasn't inside PayPal, it was in the market itself in the dot-com era. Let's look at the tactical audit. So let's audit both sides of this deal. PayPal's exit, the 70% rule. Thiel and the leadership team made a classic 70% rule decision. They had 70% of the information they needed. They knew eBay was their largest distribution channel. They knew eBay was actively trying to kill them with BillPoint. They knew the market was hostile for independent growth. They knew $1.5 billion in cash was real in an environment where paper valuations were evaporating overnight. So they executed. They didn't wait for a higher bid. They didn't hold out for $3 billion instead of 1.5. They took the certain kill over the uncertain future. And then they redeployed that capital personally into companies like Tesla, SpaceX, LinkedIn, YouTube, Yelp, Palantir. All of these came out of that money. The PayPal mafia, as they call them, didn't sell a company. They liquidated a launchpad. eBay's acquisition, the 80-20 matrix from eBay's perspective, was a textbook 80-20 play. PayPal processed the vast majority of eBay's transactions. Instead of continuing to compete with their own inferior product, BillPoint, eBay identified the vital engine of their payment ecosystem and they acquired it. Very smart on paper. But eBay violated a critical principle. They acquired a racehorse and then they put it in a stable. Under eBay's ownership, PayPal's innovation slowed. The product stagnated. The talent left. eBay treated PayPal as a utility and not as a profit platform. So let's look at the Hindsight Homicide. Hindsight Homicide is nuclear. eBay's fatal flaw, they couldn't see what PayPal could become. They only saw what PayPal was. They saw a checkout button. They missed a global financial platform. When eBay finally spun PayPal off again in 2015, PayPal's market cap immediately exceeded eBay's. The subsidiary was worth more than the parent. Sound familiar? We talked about Woolworths a little while back. If eBay had applied the Karelin method, 600% productivity thinking, to PayPal's potential, they would have turned it into the dominant global payment network a decade before anyone else. But instead, they parked a Ferrari in a horse barn. For PayPal's sellers, yes, they left billions on the table in raw valuation terms. They probably could have gotten there much faster and in their own name. But in the context of 2002, the 70% rule was the right call. You can't spend a stock price. You can spend $1.5 billion in cash during a market apocalypse. The verdict, this deal was a strategic slaughter for the PayPal mafia and a stagnation suicide for eBay. The sellers won by executing fast and redeploying the capital into some amazing companies. The buyer lost by acquiring brilliance and smothering it to death. Kill rating here, 3 out of 5 kills, a split verdict. 3 kills for PayPal's sellers, masterful timing, and capital redeployment, but overall deal gets docked because eBay's mismanagement of PayPal represents a $1 trillion missed opportunity for the combined entity. So in closing, if you want to learn more on when to sell and when to scale, go to tatagopian.com and stagnationassassins.com for the world's largest stagnation database. Pick up my book, The Unfair Advantage, Weaponizing the Hypomanic Toolbox, and remember to continue to declare war on stagnation here with us every single week.